Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser. I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poseverse. My teeth fucked up again because I sneezed. Goddamn prosthetics. But it made me a little bit better at counting to 5. So see which books I think you should pick up from last week's New Comic Book Day if you missed out, and you should get them on this week's New Comic Book Day. You should check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, one quick announcement. Make sure you watch tomorrow's weekly poll video because I have a huge channel announcement coming up. So make sure you check it in. I'll blow it up all over my socials, but watch this video. So last week I had 10 books. This week I got 9. So we'll see if we can fly through them all relatively quickly. So here are your honorable mentions. I really enjoyed Scumbag, number 10, from Image Comics, that we get to see what Ernie Ray is doing on the moon. We get to see the first appearance of the Brown Lantern, so definitely a key. But he gets these rants as to why scumbags and people like him are necessary in a society, and we shouldn't have to worry about correctness. Fun story. Still love it. Ninjak number 3 from Valiant Comics. I'm loving the art in this. I talked about this book in it was either the pull list or the FOC video. It's a lot of fun watching the kind of life that's getting breathed back into this. And I was a big fan of Harbinger in the 90s, and Harbinger comes out in October, and what you learned from the last couple of pages of Ninjak number 3 is that it sets up Harbinger number 1, so you only got to pick up 3 issues to be ready for Harbinger, but I'm on board for it. Next up is Primordial number 1 from Image. I really like this alternate timeline of somebody discovering the ongoing life of the animals that get shot into space from both the US and the Russian side of the space race. It's very clever in terms of looking at why we shouldn't shut down the space program, looking at the potential sentient life in these creatures. Fun book. Jeff Lemire is crushing it with everything he's doing right now. I really enjoyed May's book last week. I think I like this one a little bit better, but definitely a solid book. And then our last one is Maneater's The Curse number 3. This is a magazine style book where it's articles and images and ads written about, things targeting young witches who may go to craft camp. And I think the back matter, Orgasms on the Go, is a reference to something we learned about in Spy Island. So, fun book. Was not expecting that quick of a departure after issue 2, but yet another reason why I love Chelsea Kane, Leah Metronique, and the rest of the team behind Managers. Coming in at number 5 is White, number 3 from Black Mask Studios. I will tell you, this is one of my favorite covers of the week, and the second printing is up on FOC this week, where essentially everything that is cream is red and vice versa. I didn't get to read issue 2. I got allocated out of it at my LCS that I think I was the only one who ordered it, and we got 0. But it starts to look at maybe the acceptance of some of the race-based movements in The President's Son. Gets involved too quickly. The black superhero who is Renegade gets in way too quickly. That's very fun look into this world that, again, I say time and time again, I love Black. I love Black AF. And this book is quite fun. And if I happen to get a second copy of this, sending it to get it slabbed. because that cover is beautiful. Coming in at number 4 from AWA Upshot Studios is Fight Girls number 3. This is by Frank Cho and Sabine Rich. This was fun in looking at the oceanic stage of the competition where the winner gets to be the queen of the galaxy, the queen of the empire. They have to consult the rules. There's a bunch of big maritime and aerial prehistoric animals that play into the story. But this was fun. I enjoyed this book quite a lot. That even if it feels like Hunger Games, it's the Hunger Games that I would want to read or want to watch because it's gritty and bloody. Coming in at number 3, this was a book that I pined over in a preview on comicbookposer.com. You've seen me wear the shirt before, from Scout Comics, Mullet Cop number 1. The way that I phrase this in the blog is that if you want to see the old Smash TV or Super Smash TV games from the Nintendo mashed up with Robocop, this is the book for you. Tom Lintern does an amazing job with creating a surreal environment where a mall cop in a dystopian, capitalist crumbling world, or in a dystopian world where capitalism still reigns supreme, cop gets gunned down instead of becoming big, strong, Robocop kind of persona. He's the same dude with a mullet. He's got to be the manager of a food court buffet. His sidekick is Mitt, a microwave that transmits information to him, like Kit from Knight Rider. But this book is brilliant. The art matches the intensity and the absurdity of this genre. I love this book. Scout had it listed as the one-shot. I think if you look at Lintern's Patreon, that he's trying to push for additional things, so I want Mullet Cop Chapter 2. Coming in at number 2 from Boom Studios is another book that I previewed on the blog this week. It is Ma number 1 from Jude Ellison, S. Doyle, and A.L. Kaplan. This book, like Man-Eaters, is a good critique of patriarchy, of feminist movements. You can look at some of the things that I cite in the blog, but one of my favorite lines is, this is a cluster of women who were bitten by a radioactive Tori Amos concert. A lot of fun kind of nods to criticisms of feminism if you pay attention to that kind of stuff. But you get to see what happens in a world where we demonize women for, being a victim of something, that instead of listening to their story, we try to paint these radical truths as to why they're a bunch of evil she-devils. And good God, what we start to see across the last couple of pages makes this book worth the ride. I think this is only a 6-issue mini, but I'm going to be here for the whole thing. That I get the criticism. I've read one of Doyle's other works outside of comics, and it's fun to kind of see their positioning in the women and gender studies lit play out in comics. And then there was one, hands down, your pick of the week from the 15th of September from AWA Upshot Studios is Moths number 4. You've heard me pine over this book mostly from the art perspective, that I think what Mike Choi is doing from creating this picturesque art is an absolute game changer. But this story is one that definitely pulls at the heartstrings, that we know that Emily, at the beginning of this issue, has 3 months left to live. and she's starting to reflect upon her relationship with death after activating her powers. This ties into Resistance Uprising number 5. But it's painting a bigger picture of people who are willing to sacrifice themselves based on the abilities that they have in the name of humanity as a whole. I think that's a beautiful story. I think it's a beautiful book. The art in this is absolutely striking. And I want to see what happens not just in the last 2 books of the arc, but if there are similar stories that Straczynski and Choi can tell about individual members in the Resistance. So what do you think? Did we rate books similarly this week, differently? I know if you're watching the premiere, we're talking about in the chat over here. If you're watching it in the rewind, then definitely drop me a comment down below. But this was a great week in books, 2 weeks in a row, definitely solid top to bottom. For me, that there were really only 1 or 2 books I didn't like, and maybe that's because I was hopped up on antibiotics because I've got, broken teeth, a double ear infection, and strep throat. We'll see. Hopefully I get to take a win this week. But that's it. Remember, big announcement tomorrow about channel growth and new programming. And we hit 1,100 subs, so I don't know if I'll announce it today or if I did it over the weekend, but what you need to do to enter the giveaway for my more than $100 mystery box. So definitely get on that. I appreciate all of your support. As always, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.